everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. So what we're going to do today is make some altered paper clips using these funny little slides. And I will also show you, in case you don't have any of these, another thing that you could do. I mean, I'm sure you guys could figure it out on your own, but anyhow, I'm going to come in just a little bit because this is so tiny. So the first thing you need to do, if you have these, is to separate the two layers of the sort of cardstocky outside part. I don't know how else to say it, but you're just separating it so that you can get to the film piece on the inside. And this doesn't always work out totally perfect, like you might separate it and have to re-glue some of the parts. And of course, be careful and watch your hands. It's not the best, and definitely not the best for me because of my shaky hands. But I try to keep that one way over there, or as far down as I can. And it's not easy, and like I said, sometimes you tear it. I just think it's going to come apart there, and that's going to be it. I really want more of the center because I feel like I'm just peeling off the top layer. And there may be an easier way to do this, and if you know of an easier way, then of course do it that way. This is just how I took them apart. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that has a super easy method that works way better. Yeah, see, it's just wanting to split. Okay, well, we'll just go with this. No, that's not going to do it either. Oh my goodness. Like I said, it isn't easy. There we go. I think I got it. Nope. It's that center part that needs to split, and I seem to just be splitting off the outside. So, I think I got it at the time. There's multiple layers in there. So once you get to, see there's like an outside layer, you want to get in between these two inner sort of cardboard layers. And then this should just pop out. See? And then you can keep that and use that for something else. Or if you don't want to, you can toss it. And then you can probably just, because there is a gap right there, keep working it until you can split it in half. And that just makes it easier to put stuff into it if you can get it all the way in half. But if you can't get it all the way in half, then you can probably make it work just by sliding in another piece. So you can see I did separate it from there. So I'll put glue in there to fix that. And, check the other side. And then you can put whatever you want into the center picture part. Okay, so yes, that was torturous, I understand. I have already taken one, mostly apart, not entirely, and I put a paper clip on the back of it, and I will show you how I did that. You can use whatever paper you want. It really doesn't matter. And you're going to put your paper clip on there, and I always put the littlest part towards the inside. That paper clip's a little bit bigger, but I want the big part of the paper clip on the outside where it'll hook to a page. So if this were a journal page, it'll go like this onto the journal page. Okay. And then you're going to take that piece, and I'll do it on this one over here. And I'm deciding that the back is the side with all the stuff on it, just because it'll be easier to not have to try to cover that up. And unfortunately with these, because this is such a narrow amount of space, you do have to get pretty close to the edge of the paper clip. When I make altered paper clips, I usually try to leave as much space as I can between, I can leave more space out here to glue it down, and that works really well. But this is a really narrow space right here, so you're only going to be able to leave yourself so much paper hanging out. And you're going to put it and glue it right down on there. And I used a lot of glue because I wanted, you know, to make sure that it was going to stay there. So I'll go ahead and do this one too. So you can see I put it in the middle, I put it everywhere because I'm just trying to really make sure that paper clip's gonna stay on there and not just slide out. I know that seems crazy, but it works the best the more you get in there, I think. And so you're just gonna take and glue this. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. My hubby poked his head in. He's working from home because he wasn't feeling good yesterday. So he just decided to work from home today. And poked his head in, so I just wanted to make sure everything was all right. All right, so you just get that nice and glued on there, and then you're all set. So we'll set that one aside so it can get dry. I already did this one that we're working on. And so we'll see what we can do with that. All right, so I've kind of cut this piece of paper, obviously not to size, you saw it hanging out, but it's going to just kind of go in here like this, slide in here like that. I may just take this apart all the way. I don't know what is on there, but it's really stuck right there. Okay. So my paper clip's on the bottom there, and you kind of want to make sure when you separate them to try to keep your the tops and bottoms straight, because there is a little bit of difference if you flip it around the other way, even though it's the same distance or the same width here and here. So anyway, I just try to keep them how they originally were put together, if that makes sense. So this is my back. So I want to just take a piece, kind of figure out what I want to see through the window here, which I want to see that mistletoe. So it can basically just stay just like that. And I'm just going to trim the bottom off. And obviously it doesn't even have to go very far down in there, just so when you're looking through the window, you're going to see the image that you want. Take just a tiny bit more here. All right, so that'll go in there. And then I thought one of these little mushrooms, I added as many mushrooms as I could fit on the page basically when I did the digital, and so some of them do print out really tiny, but they're kind of cool for little things like this. I like to have some little things sometimes. And then I thought maybe one of my tiny snowflakes back behind a little bit might be cute, like that, and then we'll decorate the outside. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and ink my mushroom. So how y'all all doing? Are you having a good day? I'm having a pretty good day. Getting a few videos done since I kind of blew it on Tuesday this week. Some weeks it just doesn't work. It just depends on what I've got going with my Etsy shop and what work needs to be done for that usually. That's usually where I get messed up, because I can't make videos when the Glowforge is going. And I'm not going to worry about this side. You could get really picky and decorate this side, but the only time anybody's going to see this side is if they take the paper clip off the page and turn it over and look at it, which, you know, if you owned the journal that it's in, you may very well do that, but I just don't feel like the back needs to be decorated. But of course you do your thing the way you like. If you want the back to be all finished looking, then you could definitely take a piece of decorative paper. If you have one that's decorative on the back, that would work, or put another piece over the whole back before you put the paper clip on, and then that way you wouldn't see any of the construction, so to speak. But I'm not that worried about it. I don't think it'll get viewed a whole lot at the back, so I am not even going to worry about that. Okay, there's that part. And then the next thing we have to worry about Just making sure I have to keep checking that my paper clip's on the bottom. I don't want to mess it up and do it upside down. Okay, so then we're going to take our little mushroom and figure out sort of about where it's going to go. And then I'm going to glue this behind it, this itty bitty snowflake. And this size of snowflake is in the set of snowflakes that you get from my Etsy shop. I think you get 1 or 2 this size of this particular version. There are other small ones in there. I know I just got glue everywhere, but I'm just trying to kind of get that on there. Okay. Yikes, I'm just sticking to everything. That's the only thing when you work on itty bitty things. I find I get way stuck to everything. It feels like, okay, when I glue it down, I just need to scoot it down and over a tiny bit. So it's going to come over this way a little bit. Before I push on it, I want to make sure down a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll glue our top layer on like so. Oh, I think I'm going to ink this little window a little bit. You don't have to. Yeah, I just thought these would be kind of fun to use, you know, some of the itty bitty mushrooms that are in that Mushroom Christmas digital download. And I'm always looking for ideas for these little slides. I don't know if somebody's done them, probably, as an altered paperclip. I have no idea. But it wouldn't surprise me because there's lots of altered paperclip videos out there. So, yeah. But yeah, I like to, you know, have these things and it's like, what do I do with it? I am just making a mess with the glue. This stuff's going to be well glued, that's for sure. This may be interesting, getting it to glue all the way back together. Okay. All right. So I think I'll go ahead and ink on the outside too, because you know me, I like to ink. But of course, if you don't want to, don't. Did I forget to move back in? I did, huh? There we go. Sorry about that. After my hubby came in, chatting at me. He got tickets to the last football game. They may go to a bowl game. We don't know yet, but at least for the one here, the day after Thanksgiving. So that'll make my daughter happy. She likes it when we get to go. Of course. I think I'm going to take just a little bit of red acrylic. I have my red acrylic sitting there. Actually, I'm going to use green because this is red. Make up your mind, Amy. I know. I'm all over the place. I just want to put like a little color. I think that would be fun. Holding everything is the trickiest part. You could paint them entirely too, that's another thought, but I'm just going to do that kind of thing. Okay. And I'm I'm just going to glue these down because I'm not that worried. It's not that much paint, so, and it will just stick to it too, so it doesn't really matter. Just gives it a little color. And then this little 25 I took off of a ledger book that I had. I don't mind if it hangs into the window a little. And these words, I don't remember where I got these. They were in my box of Christmas ephemera that I'd already cut out. So I apologize for that. But I know if you go search on Etsy, there's a million places that have, you know, different words and stuff. I'll try to find it, but I'm not going to make any promises. That's the problem. Once you cut it all up and you put it in a bag or a box or whatever, it's like, oh man, where did I get that? I don't even know. So I'm going to take just a little bit. Okay. I like it. I think it's cute, and it would be super cute. And it's pretty flat. So like on a page, it's not going to hog up a whole bunch of space. I'm going to clean off my fingers, even though I'll probably just do it again and mess my fingers back up, but it's bugging me. Yeah, so I think those are awesome little decorations, and then you can tuck a tag behind it or whatever piece of ephemera you want. So just a fun little idea. Okay. Much better. All right, I'll clean that off while I got it. All right, so the next one I'm thinking, oh, here, I'll show you. I know what I wanted to show you. I did this by taking a square punch and just punching, you know, I had just have a creative memories or whatever, square punch, punched that out, and then I just trimmed around it to the size that I thought was good. And you can see these are obviously very different from each other. They're not the same at all, but the idea is the same. And you could even put acetate in those windows too if you want it to be seen all the way through. If you're using like a washi sticker or something that you can see through, you can do it that way. But I decided I just kind of wanted to do it this way. So I think in this one I was going to use this Santa Claus. And maybe I was going to do Christmas. I don't know. No, it's too long. Oh, I think maybe Joy. And these I know are from a Jewel Design. I know those are hers. Some things I recognize and I remember. I think it's more people that I know that I do that with than some of the sites where I get stuff and I don't know the people. I forget their name. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm going to find something to go in here. And I think Christmas music paper might be a good something to go in there. I'm going to go this way. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much. That spot wouldn't be bad. Just something in the background, you know. And then that can go. Ooh, helps if I'm in. So I think something like that. And then this is just a Santa sticker that I think I'll stick there. So, I mean, you can make these super decorative or super simple. So just, you do you. You don't have to get real fancy. Or you can get super fancy. So yeah, I just punched that square in a piece of paper and then I just trimmed around it. One of the things that's going to affect the size, like that you cut the sides, this is how far that punch went in before it punched. So that's not very thick. So you want those to match, obviously, and then this could be even thicker if you want it to be more like these slides. And then of course the bottom is thicker, and you kind of need that to put the paper clip on. So, but however far your punches in is gonna have an effect to how thick you can make the side. And if you have what do you call it? Oh, like dies, square dies, then it's awesome because you can put it anywhere you want on the page and make your sides as thick or thin or whatever as you want. So that's a really cool part about dies. But I didn't have a square die. I have some rectangles, but they have kind of that, what do you call it? Crimped, or not crimped, crinkle cut, whatever sides. They're not straight. I mean, it wouldn't matter. You could use those too. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I just decided to use my punch. And then I'm just going to ink this. And that can go on there. Great thing to do with scraps, for sure. Because you could just punch holes in scraps and then turn them into little altered paper clips, and voila. And you don't have to do them Christmas. You can do them obviously any time. It's just that's sort of what I'm working on now, so I decided to do Christmas ones. But you could easily do anything, any old thing. Could do shabby ones and like have lace hanging down. This is from my bingo bits, this 1225. And this Santa I got out of this Recollections little sticker pad last year. That was last year's, so, you know, I don't know what they're going to have this year, but anyhow, that's where I got it. I'm going to put a little extra on there. I don't always trust stickers. Little Santa there. And I don't mind that 1225's hanging over because it doesn't matter. And we're just going to cut this off after I get some of the glue off. Oh yeah, glue and me. I'm telling you, it's a bad combo. I can make the biggest mess with a little bit of glue, or a lot of glue, I should say. So this might be an easier way to do it if you don't feel like futzing around with those slides, but if you have those slides, that's just a kind of a fun way to use them, because I know, like I was saying, I have stuff like that and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? So just a thought, right? But this might be a much easier way to do it with scraps. Okay, and we'll take our paper clip and do the same thing again. Oh, I should have used that other one that I already did, but anyway, doesn't matter. The little side goes at the back. Just leave yourself a little bit of space there. This one's a little bit bigger, so you can probably get away with more. Well, and now that actually, to be honest with you, you can make it as big as you want because you have the whole back. I wasn't thinking, sorry. With this one I was trying to miss the opening, but it wouldn't have mattered. So I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? Let's do it on this side since that one's on the other side. It does matter though. You kind of want this to be as close to the edge as you can get it. That way it just sits on the edge of your page is all. You don't have it hanging off your page or anything. And it helps if you get it kind of straight. So it's not all cattywampus. I keep grabbing that, and that's that wet one. Don't want that for this. Okay, so voila, there's another one. Cute, cute stuff. They're so tiny, you guys still seem far, far. I mean, they're really not, but see. And then this one with the little mushroom. All right, what else do we want to do? Let's do this one. This is some of that waxed paper. Oh, and I've had a million questions about the waxed paper. Hold on just a second. So if you didn't see the video where I explained that, and then I used waxed paper for something else and people did not know what in the world I was talking about, so I will show you really quick. I have this hot plate, and it's just, you know, hot plate. It's got the little heat deal there, and it's like a griddle to like make pancakes on or whatever. But I only use it for crafting. I got it at a thrift store, and I've used it exclusively for crafting since I got it. So what I do is I put a whole sheet of like paper on there from a digital, because it kind of needs to be thin paper. It won't really work on thicker like scrapbook paper. You're not going to get the same effect because it's too thick of a paper. So you need kind of a thin paper that a digital's on. For example, you might use, you know, something like this, and then you'd have waxed flowers that you could use on whatever. But anyway, you set the whole piece of paper on there, and then I use an old taper, but you can use crayon. You can use those little like wax beeswax things. You can use a block of wax, whatever, because what you're going to do is turn this on to warm or between warm and 200 degrees. You don't want it hot. You don't want it like anywhere near 400 degrees, because for one thing, it's going to be too hot for you to even work on. So you just want it real low, basically. All it has to do is melt the wax. If it'll melt the wax, it's hot enough. And then I just run my wax over the top of, and make sure you cover the whole thing. And you can probably see on here there's wax left over, so that will also melt. So when I set my paper down, it's going to get some wax on the back as well. It'll soak through regardless. You only have to do one side and it's fine. So you're just running the wax all over it, and that's what's going to give you that kind of see-through waxed paper. And then if you want to, you can take a card and scrape it after it's dry, you know, or when it's almost dry. Scrape it off so you don't get any lumpy spots, because you can even see on here there's kind of lumps and bumps of wax. But if that doesn't bother you, then don't worry about it. I don't usually do that. I don't have a problem getting too much in one spot, but if you do get too much in one spot, you can scrape it off with just some kind of plastic card. Okay, so this piece has been fully waxed, and this is going to be bright, but I'm going to bring this over just so you can kind of see that it's pretty transparent. Okay, so that's what you get when you wax. And it's not a hard thing to do at all. It's super simple, and however you can do it. A lot of people have a craft iron that they use to wax paper. But again, like I said, this was just photocopy paper. It wasn't anything thicker than that. You want a pretty thin paper, because that's the only way it's going to work. So I thought it'd be fun to put these little snowy houses in here. And I just want to get, you know, you're just getting a snapshot basically of it. And this is from my black and white digital download. So I'm just going to trim it right there. That was really crooked. Luckily it doesn't matter, but it goes like that. That'll go there. I want to see, I kind of think I want to see these people at least. And as much of houses as I can get. Yeah, something like that is what I'm trying to get. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Okay, so I'm going to glue that in there, and that's all I'm going to put in there. I'm not putting anything else in this one, just because I like that, the simplicity of that, and then we'll decorate the outside. But I don't want it any different than that. Okay, so it is very cattywampus in here, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. I'm going to trim this side just a little bit more. This is a little tricky because sometimes you don't know how well this wax is going to stay, or waxed paper, you know what I mean? But I think it'll be fine. Ooh. It's kind of slippery is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's been really hard for us to get football tickets this year because our team's doing good, which is awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, it's been a little tricky. They got very expensive. Okay, and then this will go over the top like that. And just getting any seats that are worth paying for is the other problem. Because there's some spots you don't want to sit in because you can't see much of anything. Oh, come on, you. It's being finicky. Persnickety. And this one is the one that we put the paper clip on already, so we won't have to mess with that. All right, there's that one. And thank you if you guys are still hanging out with me. I know once you see how to do it, it's like, okay, yeah, I got it. What do I want to put on there? Maybe Silent Night? That might be kind of good. Or Christmas? Maybe Christmas, because there's people milling about in the snow. The fun part about this one is if you held it up to the light, you would be able to see through that. It would be kind of cool. What else do I want to put on there? I have these little, I just did those with some paint. Christmas, do I want, oh, dropping things. Some Christmas paper. You're like, I don't know, what do you want? I don't know. How about, this would be pretty, but I'm just worried it's so, they're kind of big. That's what I'm thinking on that. I didn't think all of these all the way through, so I might try a piece of this because I just like the colors. And there's these too. Those kind of things might work, huh? Those stickers. Kind of like those stars. It's kind of thin. Because the thing is, I'm trying to cover up like the February and that. We're gonna hold the phone on that, and I'm gonna put another little something in the background. Oh, I know. Use a little bit of this that I got from Kip. So thank you, Kip. I actually used some instead of hoarding it. Ay, ay, ay. Just put it down just a little bit over the image there. Okay. And then we can put the sticker over that, but we are going to put some glue on it, maybe, if I can do it without getting it all over me. Just set that back on there. Okay. And where did my little Christmas go? There it is. And I did ink on that, didn't I? I do feel like it needs something on the sides, just a little bit. It's getting windy and yucky out. It's supposed to snow again, so I'm a little worried because my son's talking about driving down from school this weekend because he's got a friend that's getting married. And I don't love that idea, but I know that's all part of it when they're going to school far away. I covered up all the little dashes and things on that paper. That wasn't very smart. I just realized that. just realized it. Kind of a genius like that. I want all those little dashes and dots. You could stamp on these too. That would be another cool way to decorate them. Like just take a word stamp before you even put anything in it and just go over, you know, script stamps. Go right over it with that. It just kind of needs something. It's just real plain on its own, I feel like. But of course that could just be me, you know. Other people might like that sort of simplicity, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I'm just going to use this, it's easier. Yeah, it needed that, I think, on this edges. Thank you, Kip. Okay, so there's those. And, you know, I had another idea I was going to put if I had time. This is another one like this one, where I just cut the square. It's a little bigger. But however, and I was going to put this mushroom in it from my digital. So yeah, I think you guys get the idea. That's what I'm trying to say. Words. But anyway, that one will be really cute too. So here's this one, which is fun because it's got the waxed paper so you can see through it if you want to. And then our little Santa and our little mushroom and all altered paper clips. So super duper fun. They would look so cute on a journal page. Let's pretend. We'll pretend here. So we've got our journal page. Maybe if I can get a hold of it. It's going to go on there like that, and then you can take journaling card, pop it in there, and have a fun little spot to put something. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. For a lot of you, it's probably like, you know, rerun, but we do have lots of new people, and welcome to everyone. I love you all. So yeah, just a fun little idea. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and we will chat again soon. Love you guys. Bye.